goes live in 2 minutes. Lynn Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
Hello there, welcome to the program. It be a Friday. The 4th, in fact, and the Friday of Labor Day weekend eve, I guess. By the way, won't be here Monday. No, absolutely not. Celine and I will be not laboring on Labor Day. So somebody else not at work is, what's her name? Kim Davis, the county clerk there in bumfuck Kentucky. What is it? Which one is it? I don't know. I'm sorry. It's not proper and seemly or anything. Okay, so startling everybody, the judge said, I'm not going to fine you because you got all these deep-pocketed nutcases around who are going to pay for your fines. It's not going to be any skin off your teeth. So, putting you in jail. By the way, do you know who he is? That Judge Bunning? If the name rings a bell to anybody, like baseball fans, he was, I believe, his father was a Hall of Fame. He is a Hall of Fame pitcher, Jim Bunning, who then became a fire-breathing right-wing U.S. Senator from the state of Kentucky. Senator Bunning. This is his son, who I understand from some interview that he himself does not support same-sex marriage. But see, that's why he's the perfect judge for this. He doesn't support it, but he took an oath of office. He is following the law. If people don't follow the law, you have chaos. If everybody can opt out on an individual basis based on their own feelings and beliefs, well, we'd have people do. There's conscientious objectors. There are people who take it on the chin and, in fact, do go to jail. It's called civil disobedience. But if you're the clerk, if you're an elected official who has taken an oath and your job requires you to do certain things, ow. Oh, God, what are you doing?
Wrecking your studio.
What's happening?
Something happened.
Jesus.
What was that?
I don't know. It's a keyboard.
Oh, as long as it's not.
Okay. So anyway, after he threw her in jail, he asked her deputies would they give out licenses or did they want to go to jail? And they said, oh, yeah, we'd like to give them licenses out. Everyone except one who happens to be her son. Did I tell you that this family, I refuse to know her name because I don't want, there are people going to make her into a saint now. Saint Kim. Kim Davis, who succeeded her mother in this position. Her mother had held the job for, what did I say the other day, 29 or 39 years. And now her daughter, and you see, she's got the son in the office already. That's disgusting. I mean, not only doesn't this woman understand the idea of public service and taking an oath, but she doesn't understand the concept of nepotism, or maybe she does. Maybe, in fact, she does and finds it a wonderful thing. So, anyway, they're giving out licenses today. And she's in jail. And the thing about a contempt, when a judge throws you in for contempt, you just sit there until you come around. Now, she has put herself in a position where she cannot come around, right? Because she is a matter of principle, and it's a heaven and hell decision, and her God won't let her, and she talked to God, and he said, don't you dare do that, Kim. And so, she's stuck. And some people will be, marching on the jail. She'll be a martyr. She's probably getting off on that. I wonder how they'll finally spring her. I think it might be that she'll have to give up she won't agree to do the job. So she's going to have to resign.
She'll get another message from God.
That's her only way out. That's right. Celine said God will somehow come to her and say, Kim, I really appreciate you going to bat for me and all that is good. But there's no reason a woman like you should be here in this terrible jail. So you resign your position and you can leave with your principles intact. A fine woman, a saintly woman, and you can go home to your fourth husband and maybe start looking for a fifth. I don't know. God bless you. So, yeah, that's it. The ACLU, yes! The ACLU is the attorney. They're the ones who are representing the plaintiffs in this case. And, I mean, even the ACLU said, we didn't want her in jail. See, they don't want her in jail. We don't want this because, the idea of a good Christian woman being tortured by the government. You will set a lot of people. I was going to set people off. So the ACLU didn't want that. They just said, our clients simply want to get married in the county where they live and pay taxes. Their taxes help pay this woman who won't do her job. Okay, so that's all on her as far as I'm concerned. Ed has a question. Lynn, since you're in the business, I thought you might be able to answer this question. I've noticed lately that almost everyone who appears live on a screen has a small tube running into his ear. They've always had those. Ed. I had small tubes. They're called IFBs. Maybe they're called something else now, but back in the old days, it was called an IFB, which doesn't make any sense because it stood for something I didn't comprehend. Something frequency. Bulletins. No, that wasn't it. IFBs.
Broadcast.
Huh?
Broadcast?
intermittent feedback. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they are, but I'll tell you what they're for. So when you have one of those damn things in your ear, you are tethered to the studio, to whoever's running the show, and they can talk to you in your ear. So they can say things like, "Don't forget to say blah, 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 blah," or feed you information, like in a breaking news situation where you see a reporter all of a sudden like, and they're having to talk, but they're also getting information in through their ear, which is very, let me tell you, if you can maintain like this sort of composure and still speak in coherent sentences and have some lunatic producer screaming in your ear, that's a talent. There's no doubt about it. I really didn't have it. Every time somebody started in my ear, I'd get immediately distracted. And I more than once, and you do see this, I would rip it out. I would just rip it out. Ha! Take that! It was an act of rebellion. Sometimes, though, they're making noise and they're breaking up, and so, you see people take them out. That's all. It's just so that you can... And also, if you're interacting with the studio, like the anchor is asking you a question, that you hear them through that, okay? So that's what that is. And that's it. Ed. That's not really a very new thing, but maybe more and more they're used maybe constantly now. I don't know what. I must have a very odd configuration of my ear, because the ones they would give me never would stay in. They would never like fit. They were so uncomfortable. Eventually, I had to get a custom one, an ear mold. So I had my own little, and that thing fit. And for years, when I did radio, my show, I would not wear these. I would wear little teeny, like sort of IFB buds. The reason being that I was also working in television at the time, and my hair at the time was, well, important because I was on TV. And so to smash my beautiful big hair, remember, this is the 80s, my big hair down with these cans for 3 hours and then be expected to go on television. Well, sorry. So, all right. Margie, that's not very Christian of you. Margie writes, I hope some big-ass dyke hits on her in jail. Margie can say that because she's a little-ass dyke. Jeez. And she said it. I didn't say dyke, right? Okay. The oldest remaining survivor of the San Francisco earthquake has died. That earthquake was in 1906. Good God. Yeah, she was 113. And I don't know. Yeah, 113. She was 4 years old at the time of the quake, and she actually does have a memory of it. She remembers her mother being very upset. Now, they were not in San Francisco City. They were a whole 70 miles away. So it's a little, when I think of a San Francisco quake survivor, I don't think of 70 miles away. So, I don't know. The Guinness Book of World Records might be getting a little slack here. But she lived on a ranch in Healdsburg, north of San Francisco. Believe me, they felt the quake. And when it hit, her mother had just finished milking the cow, and she had separated the cream and all and put it in containers. And then the quake came, and all that work, the containers crashed onto the floor, the cow bolted. She remembers her mother freaking out, being really pissed off, more than scared. Her father grabbed her and they ran outside. She does remember all that. That leaves now the oldest survivor, William Del Monte, who is 109 years old, and he was just 3 months old when the quake hit, and obviously was safeguarded by somebody now dead. So there she is. I'm looking at a picture of her. Name is Ruth Newman. I'm looking at Ruth on her 100th birthday. Good-looking woman. Good-looking and sharp-looking and... Jeez. What happened to her? It doesn't matter. I mean, I'll just pile things up over here. Okay. Freddie. Freddie wants to know if she, that'd be the clerk. Thank you. If she were being fined, we know there would be a crowdfunding campaign started for her, right? And she'd probably make way more money than her fines would ever be. Oh, thanks for reminding me of that, Freddie. I read a little piece or skimmed it, didn't really read the whole thing, about how she's about to become a gazillionaire. I wonder if that's in the back of her mind. Well, no, let's give her due. Uh-oh. Celine choked on that one. That is why she's choking. No, I'll say she's doing it because she thinks that she really can't do it because she'd go to hell or something like that. I'll pretend for a moment that I think that's exactly what's happening here. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I do not know her mind. But in the back of it, she must be thinking, oh my God, I am now famous. Oh my God, you can monetize this big time. There might even be a movie. I wonder who'd play me. I can write a book. I'll be appearing on television shows left and right after I finally get out. After God tells me I can go. Oh, God. Yeah, so this is a big moment for her. Either way. But you're right. And that's what the judge realized. It ain't going to have any impact at all to make her pay a fine. So let's throw her in the who's gal. Oh, do you know how some things are just like you can't even believe what you're reading? Listen to this. Here is a paragraph, little one, only made up of 2 sentences. It's in the letters to the editor to the Post-Gazette today, and it's by Matthew Burke of Marshall, PA. And he writes this. You could place a loaded firearm on a table, and it would sit there for all eternity without harming a soul. Only when someone with a deranged mind or a criminal intent decides to pick it up and commit violent acts with it, does mayhem ensue. Matthew, maybe you were shortchanged in the imagination department when, God was giving out gifts. Imagine this. Matthew. You put the loaded gun on a table, and instead of sitting there for all eternity, unless a deranged or violent lunatic picks it up, imagine a five-year-old wanting to show his friend this amazing thing were to pick it up, he is not someone with a deranged mind. He is not someone with criminal intent. Okay? So, right there, the kid picks it up. He accidentally whatever. He kills himself. He kills... Matthew, I don't think you thought that out too well. Put a loaded gun on a table, and you think it would sit there for all eternity without harming anyone unless a deranged person or a criminal happened by and picked it up. Wrong! Innocent people are constantly dying because of loaded guns left unattended. Let's say someone came home to the house with a loaded gun on the table. They had just been fired. They'd had a really bad day. They weren't feeling well on top of it. Their life it just seemed to falling apart, and there's a loaded gun on the table. They are not deranged, and they are not criminals. They are depressed people, and all of a sudden that gun looks like a way out. Matthew. Just 2 instances of what you say being totally wrong. What about there's a cat in the house, Matthew? Use your imagination. A cat jumps on the table. The cat bats the gun off the table. The gun goes off and kills the baby. Caller, hi.
Hello, Clarence Cannisburg.
Clarence Cannisburg.
I think you put one more in there than was necessary.
Well, it's Friday. It's Friday. What do you want from me?
Yes, it is. And I'm baking my dinner for some reason. But, fry, bake, that's a bad pun.
That was a very bad pun.
Yeah. The gun sitting on the table meme is old. That's one of those things that, somebody thinks they're saying something profound because they heard it, probably started with the NRA or somebody a long time ago.
Yeah.
I always respond, okay, imagine that gun on the table, okay, and a deranged person comes by and picks up and the mayhem ensues. Now imagine no gun on the table. And a deranged person walks by.
There's a better imagination, right? Imagine no loaded gun.
Gun on the table.
Yeah.
So imagine that. Okay. That's how I always
better.
answer that.
Yeah.
That's when no mayhem ensues.
All right. Well, Matthew, I don't think he ain't gonna ace rhetoric or debate or anything like that. It's just bullshit.
But it's one of those things that they really think is a profound thought.
Right.
Because it's been around probably, I've seen that thing since I've been on Facebook.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean a long time. Not like a week or a month, a long time. And then they put it, I don't know why it's in the paper, it's old.
Jesus.
Yeah, guns don't kill people, people kill
That's
people.
That's right. Well, that's his first paragraph gets into all of that.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Or not. No.
Mm-hmm.
But then he goes into, what's the third paragraph? The real issue is, fill in the blank,
probably
mental illness.
Health. Yeah. And so my response to that is, if you want to keep guns out of the hands of the mentally ill, wouldn't you want some gun laws?
No, they'd want the mentally ill stuck in places where I don't know. I'm so sick of these dimwits, I can't see straight.
I always tell us that you're obviously more in love with a gun than you are with human life.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
They look at the gun and they say, this is freedom. Mm-hmm. This is liberty. Their sense of America comes down to that ability to have that gun. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, is so god-awful despicable. When you think of all the things America can stand for, like, let's take the First Amendment instead of the Second.
Yeah.
Freedom to of religion, which, of course, poor Kim Davis doesn't have. God dang mind.
Yeah, that's just as, I don't know, I don't want to say dumbfounding because I kind of get it, but why they think that their religion is being taken away when actually they're actually trying to force their religion on somebody. I can't see why they can't see that, but...
Well...
Yeah.
Listen, the Lord works in mysterious ways.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
because he put me and those people on the same planet.
I know. And expects you to understand each other. Jeez.
Oh, just one more thing. I know I'm talking too much because that's what I do. I'm sorry. One time somebody called me and said, "You're obviously not from this planet if you don't do this, if you don't believe this, that, and the other thing." And I said, "Don't think of that as an insult. I think that's a compliment."
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Good one.
All right.
It's a few good ones. Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Hey, I saw some good news in the paper. It's not about something we generally pay any attention to or care about because it's about another country. And it's one of those little countries to our south. And it's one of those countries that some of these brown-skinned people are running out of to get to the U.S. And so we only view this country as whatever. We just think of them, well, what Trump would say is sending murderers and rapists our way. I'm speaking of Guatemala. Guatemala has had a lot of miserable history, let me tell you that. I won't go into it. But there have been people in the streets there for some time arguing that the president should step aside because he's a crook. And you know what happened? He did. That never happens in Guatemala. That's not how you change regimes in Guatemala. As a matter of fact, the guy who stepped aside was the former head of the army. And he got to be president doing what they've always done in Guatemala, which is he took it. He stepped aside. And not only that, he was immediately arrested, brought before a court, and pending the hearing he's going to get, he was thrown in jail. And he took all this, even though he controlled the military. I got to tell you, this is my favorite crook. Now, my favorite presidential crook. Because he didn't do what they always do or had always done. He stepped aside. So, I mean, it's sort of like what, Nixon. Nixon stepped aside. But we expect in our country that things are going to sort of function in our legal framework. That's not what the expectation is in Guatemala. So I think that's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. I'm sorry. I'm just... Okay. Now, this is a little change of pace. Things I hate. Not just... What's so funny about that?
This is a change of pace?
Oh, Celine thinks that's a change of pace? Now, Celine suggesting that I'm a hateful person. I hate a lot of things. But this is, no, it's not things. It's people. And it's not just people. And hate is a strong word. Let's say cannot stomach, okay? Can't stand, gotta run as soon as their image appears. And this is advertising spokespeople. I cannot stomach. Okay, is it just me, or is Flo from Progressive enough to make you pick that loaded gun off that table? Huh? Flo from Progressive, who now I've seen in like cartoon form. I'm on my Twitter account. She pops up. She is everywhere. I didn't like her much when she was just Flo, but now she's Flo doing this and Flo doing that. And I absolutely cannot stomach her. So every time, I'm so sick of her, I can't see straight. Every time she comes on, I'm gone. Channels flipped. Am I the only one? Might be. I can't. It's like, don't people know when enough's enough? Progressive! I'm just saying to you. I'd never buy one of your products because you are assaultive. Too much. Pull back. Pull back. And there's a current one that's out that is really pissing me off. Cannot watch. I've seen it all 4 times altogether, and I'm all ready. I don't even know what it's for. It's for a car dealership. It's for a sale. It's 3 stereotypical old ladies in a car dealership. As my son said, gawking at that young dude. Yeah, gawking at the young dude. Now, these are 3 women who are portrayed as loud, as obnoxious, as hard of hearing, and as lascivious leches. And as a woman of a certain age myself, I take great offense. I do. First of all, they're loud and obnoxious. What do I want to listen to loud and obnoxious people? Especially when it's this, like, insulting stereotype. And we're all supposed to laugh at it. Do you laugh at it? Oh, there's a rear-end sale. It's a year-end sale, yeah. Oh, God. Some smart-ass little copy editor came up with that, and all the guys in the room loved it. Stop and think if they would make that ad about 3 lecherous old men. Can't do it. Oh, okay, those are 2. I would have said Jared, but, you know, he's in a different league now. Some of these... Ugh. Okay, just saying. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Pope Francis is on 2020 tonight. Oh, it's a special, a 1-hour special on the Pope. On 2020 ABC. He says it's going to be a virtual audience with the Pope. And Chuck writes, I like how this Pope is embracing technology and the media. He's a man of this world. Boy, is he like night and day from his predecessor. Remember Benedict? Benedict looked like he should have been on the Addams Family. Didn't he look like he would have fit right into that family. Uncle somebody. Yeah. Okay. Margie agrees with me about the old ladies. And Margie loves Flo. Oh, jeez. God, help me. Oh, I'll tell you. Whatever actress that is, who I'd never seen before, man, when she auditioned for that one, little did she know, her life was about to change big time. Wow. She's the franchise now. Now, when they find out she is engaged in child pornography, then all hell's going to break loose. Actually, I read in the business section of some publication that after Jared went down, that it was a cautionary note to corporations to be very careful about letting a single human being denote. What's the difference between denote and connote? Connote would be an illusion. Denote is more specific. Connote, you're saying, is, well, I don't know. It sounds like one of those differences that, like, is a fly's eyelash. Anyway, whatever I was saying, I forgot. Oh, if you allow your brand to, you were right? All right, so, like, okay, smarty pants, so what does it say? So what does it say?
It says, to connote is to imply a meaning or condition, and denote is to define exactly.
Okay, connote is to imply a definition.
And
denote is to define it. Okay. Well, so I'm saying that when, you use a human to connote. No, to denote. Now they both sound wrong. To denote your brand, be careful. Could be O.J. Simpson. Remember that? Hertz. Could be Tiger Woods. Nike. Could be Jared. Probably. And I can't think of any others right now, but they have to be a lot. Yeah, you gotta be careful. I don't know about Flo. Flo, what do you think? I'm very happy for that woman, whoever she is, because her name is not really Flo. I'm very happy for her, but I just want her to get out of my line of vision and my earshot. I just am so sick of her, I can't see straight. No one is agreeing with me, so that's why she's... God. My annoyance, tolerance for annoyance must be pretty low. I think so. All right, so where are we? What's happening? I don't want... I'm just going to say this. I did say to somebody, I don't know if I said it on this show. I wish I had, because then I'd have bragging rights. I said before the Bucks went to Milwaukee, watch them get swept. They don't play well in that stadium, ever, rarely, and this is just what they do. They get within striking distance of those damn birds, and then they just start... It's like fear of success. Something's going on. I don't know what it is. All of a sudden, our great pitching staff can't find the strike zone to save their... I don't know. I can't watch. Now, if that makes me a fair weather fan, so be it. But I just get too upset. I do. Okay, so you're Kenneth Mullaney. If the name doesn't ring a bell, let me remind some folks. This guy was a big hotshot in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm looking through a window, and I can see part of the huge skyscraper he sat atop in his fancy office, corner office. Kenneth Mullaney was the CEO of Highmark. Good-looking guy. Man, this guy had it all. Power, money, everything. And then Do you know what happened to this guy? Oh, God, you guys. Some men cannot keep it in their pants. Cannot. And not only that, their brains become o'ertaken by their lust. So Kenneth Mullaney was arrested, you might recall, because he got in a fight with his lover's husband. The lover whom he'd hired for a nice, well-paid position there at Highmark, and then had been, well, to use a word that my father would use, stooping her. He goes to her home that she shared with her husband, knocks on the door, pushes his way in, gets in a brawl with the husband. This is the CEO, of Highmark. The Highmark board of directors met. They had told him, by the way, they knew this was going on with him and her and was causing morale issues. And they had said, get rid of her. And he said, much like Kim Davis, I cannot cost her her job simply because I'm stooping her. That would be sexual discrimination. And you know it's true. Whenever these things happen, when a powerful man is stooping a less powerful woman in his employ, and they are found out, the woman loses her job. But Kenneth Mullaney said no. That would be sexual discrimination, and anyway, she'd be mad at me, and then I couldn't stoop her anymore. So he refused, and then he got in a fight, and I don't know if I have these things slightly out of order. The board canned him. He lost his job. What a fall from power. So he's now suing. This is why I'm bringing this up, because this happened, 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago now. And if you were Kenneth Mullaney, wouldn't you, not want to resurrect this story in which you were, frankly, unmasked as a total jerk, and this thing in which you lost everything because you had the hots for another man's wife? Displaying your leadership abilities. Displaying your cool CEO temperament. Anyway, he's back and he's suing. He wants $32 million in severance and in all kinds of other stuff because apparently he didn't, 32 mil he wants. Oh, God. And here's what's going to happen. Because this is always what happens to the guys at the top. Even the guys who used to be at the top. He ain't going to get 32 mil, but he's going to get a chunk of change because this, Highmark will not want this playing out in a courtroom. This will be settled out of court. So Kenneth Mullaney will walk away with a nice hunk of change. He says there was no cause for his dismissal. Kenneth, I don't know what kind of a contract you had, but even the contract I had in TV always had a clause, I guess they call those a morals clause, that if I were ever involved in anything that would bring, condemnation or embarrassment or something to the corporation, that I was toast. That's cause. I think they had cause. That's all I'm saying. Oh. Okay. Here, is this Lori? I don't know who this is. It's Roberts. And it says, I prefer Flo over... What are you wearing? What was the other line? What's the next line? What are you wearing? The woman who comes upon her husband talking on the phone. You know that one? What?
TV is on there.
Yeah, but you've never seen that? You don't watch... I don't watch much TV. What are you wearing, Miss, whatever? What's the rest of that line? And the poor guy on the other end says, khakis. And then she turns to her husband and said, she sounds absolutely awful. And the husband says, well, that's because she is a he. Now, what's that for? Is that for another insurance company, right? I don't know. You prefer, well, they all get our goats. Margie has written, men are so fucking stupid. Well, some. A lot. Whatever. Thank you, Gigi. I cannot stand Flo either. You are not alone. She annoys me no end. And the old ladies for the car commercial are just as bad. Thank you. Margie loves Flo. She doesn't like the old ladies. Mary says the 3 old ladies got famous. Oh. Really? Those 3 old ladies? She says these 3 old ladies got famous watching Kim Kardashian's sex tape. Really? I mean, that was something where you watch them watch the sex tape? Well, that makes sense then. So they're a thing. And then she sent me the cut, but says, don't watch this during your show. I might improve it, actually. And Mary says that the old lady's commentary watching Kardashian's sex tape went viral. Now they have their own show? Though on Oprah Winfrey Network and endorsements like this. Well, then I changed. More power to them. Jeez, what? You mean I could have gotten my mother and some people together and watched Kim Kardashian and put it on YouTube and made a ton of money? Shoot. Okay. Well, thank you for that. See how out of it I am? I just don't. How many people do you think watching that know that they have their own show? Oh, God. All right. Now, why should I take offense at a loudmouth old woman? Why? Since I'm a loudmouth old woman. So maybe my cringing when I see them has something to do with looking in a mirror. Oh, my God. Okay, so it's Labor Day coming up Monday. Bad time to be a laborer. Bad time. Roger loves Flo. Oh, God. That's why she's there. Okay. I take my top off and wave it. It's the only white thing I see around, but I'm not going to. Okay, Roger says, I like the fact that Flo, the actor, turned this gig into something big since she's no spring chicken. What do you mean she's no spring chicken? She's not that old. Well, how old do you think that Flo person is?
Maybe 40?
I don't even think she's 40. I think she's in her 30s. Most actors work hard with no financial reward, so I'm happy for her. She's funny, too. here's what I'll say. She has some acting training, clearly, some acting chops. And as I said, boy, what a lucky person when she answered that audition, because it turns out she was exactly the kind of person they were looking for. Anyway, Roger goes on, and the person who created the idea, think about, you have to write commercials for insurance. Think about how he or she turned a snore into something, if not funny, memorable. Oh, I think insurance ads can be extremely memorable. I, for instance, although I'm starting to weary of them, and I don't think that all Geico ads are good, but I do like that gecko. Those are funny. Think of some others. Oh, in your hands with Allstate. I mean, that hand thing with the Allstate, that was sort of memorable. Oh, but that jerk, that guy going around ruining everything. What's that an insurance ad for? Where he like is like a nemesis, and I hate those ads. I hate those ads. I don't know. Back to Roger. I do get freaked out when I pull up to a turnpike toll booth and see her lifelike face staring at me. It is too realistic. Again, effective advertising because we can't get her out of our minds, and we always think about Progressive when we see her. Yes, but I'm sick of her in my face. Isn't there a point at which it starts to backfire? When you're just feeling like, it's like somebody invading your personal space, standing too close to you when you're talking. Get the fuck out of my face, Flo. By the way, Roger says, my wife wants you to buy the mansion in Bellevue. Okay. Being a very good interior designer, she could help you sell your house quickly for lots of dough. Oh, God. Nationwide is on your side, says Margie. Okay. No, I think insurance companies actually do. Clarence says, Clarence doesn't like Flo. I don't think there is a man in the world that likes Flo. Wrong. Roger likes Flo. He loves a Flo. So there you go. Proven wrong right off the bat there, Clarence. I would think that not many women would like Flo. Wrong again. Clearly, people like her. Clarence says, oh. Clarence says, it's a joke. Get it? I don't. Flow meaning what? Menstrual thing?
That's what I would think.
I don't like flow. I don't think there's a man in the world that likes flow. Yeah. I would think that not many women would like flow. It's a joke. Get it? I must say, this menstrual stuff that's been popping up lately, I did not think when Donald Trump, I don't think I ever said this, when he said bleeding out of everywhere, that he was talking about menstruation. And I was startled when everybody just immediately said, well, he's clearly referring to menstruation. I thought, really? I just thought it was like, there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out, like it could have been her ears. I don't know. I didn't, what is it with, okay, hello.
Hello, I'm calling about the commercials. Flo drives me insane.
Yes.
And the little old ladies, I don't care for that either. I find that to be disrespectful. But the funniest one of all, have you seen the one where the young gals are in the kitchen and a man called who one of them went out with the night before, and he said, I had a nice time, but, and then
the phone goes,
dead.
Right.
And the one gal says, go back to your wife, you sociopath.
No, I did. It's hard. At first, I thought, what is going on? But, I thought it was cute, and apparently is playing off of the fact that men, don't call this sort of like dance that goes on after you've maybe dated or something.
Yeah, that one makes me laugh hard.
Yeah, I have to admit,
And the one gal says, he's a kleptomaniac, he's a pyromaniac. And then the other one, blurt that one out, but yeah, it is.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing, but yes.
Have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Where was I? Who knows? Labor Day. Margie says, Clarence, that's hilarious. Mouth noises. I hate mouth noises. Isn't that the worst? Isn't that the worst?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, because it's sort of dry mouth. Sorry. You wouldn't think I was a grown woman, would you? Oh. All right. All right. I don't want to get into this thing I have here. Because it's about how low-income workers have seen the biggest drop in their paychecks. Come on, we're heading into a 3-day weekend. Celebrating the workers. Celebrating the workers who are getting screwed. Just screwed right and left. You don't even want to know. Even as labor productivity has improved steadily in the last 15 years, the benefits from all those workers working even more efficiently have all gone to their friggin' bosses and to the shareholders and to anybody but them who did the work. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, yeah, she gets on my nerves, too.
Flo?
Yes.
Good.
But I'll say this. I've seen her in other advertisements. I don't know where she's sitting around in a family and she plays all the family characters.
No.
Did you ever see that? She does have talent.
Wait a minute. But if she's doing that for Progressive.
I think.
Yes. Because she would be on. No, she is Progressive. So, oh yeah, I think I've seen that one where she does. Yes, no, I agree because she clearly is.
Good for Saturday Night Live.
She's an actress.
And I can appreciate people that work their way up to the.
I understand. She got lucky though.
But I don't like that flow thing that much. I think it wears on you real fast.
Mm-hmm.
And something about old ladies hitting on a young guy. It just disgusts me.
There you
I
go.
feel that way about old men that hit on young girls.
You do?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Because I've seen it in restaurants.
Oh, God, you've seen it. I've been there. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
But I do have to tell you, as an old woman now, you do start feeling like you have, and I suppose old men get this too, that age, because no one really would take you seriously as a sexual partner, you feel like you can put your hand like on a guy or flirt with them because, I mean, obviously you're just kidding, kinda.
Well, that's true, too.
I mean, in your head, you might be thinking, oh, man, 30 years ago, baby. Oh, wow. But, you know, what you going to do? Thank you.
She has talent.
I agree with you. Totally. I'm not going to. No, I agree. She's
terrible.
got talent. Not going to disagree. But thank you. Okay. Have a great weekend.
You
Bye.
too.
Bye. Oh. Laura, don't make me look like an idiot. Flo is 45. I can't tell anybody's age anymore.
She looks really young.
Well, she's got makeup.
And lights.
45. No spring chicken, Roger. Okay. Well, I can continue to make mouth noises, or we can... I don't know. You going to go see the Labor Day parade? I hate parades myself, so I won't be there. But I've never understood parades. Especially when they consist of politicians and fire trucks. What the fuck's the point of that? And then, of course, I've had to be in them, much to my own horror. Did I tell you I once rode a float with Rick Santorum? how did that happen? Rick Santorum, who was then a congressman, I guess, yeah. And I was on the same float with him, and we were like waving as we were going down Fifth Avenue here. And we had a good time. I got to know, I mean, you know, he's a person. Can be a very nice person if you forget other things. Well, he did tell me his mother hated me. But then I don't blame his mother. I would hate me too if I had said terrible things about boy, that got me in a corner. If someone had said terrible things about Celine is so ready for the show to be done. Celine is on her way to New York City, where she is hosting a bachelorette weekend. I was telling her yesterday, in my day, we didn't have any such thing. I must have just been out of it. There was no such thing like that. Don't diss on Flo. Men are so funny. Nationwide is on your side. Thanks for making me laugh. Have a great weekend. You too. And Lynn, do you like the redhead Wendy spokeswoman? I think she's a goof. Isn't she a cartoon? You mean just I can just see a picture. No, so I don't know. I don't know. I think we're all under assault from these people trying to separate us from our money. That's what I think. Okay, so I think I started a million sentences, which I never ended, but then fill in the blanks if you'd like. Do have a great weekend. Stay hydrated. I believe it's going to be extremely hot. And I'll see you again on Tuesday, okay? Really, have a good weekend and eat like there's no tomorrow. That's what I do on weekends like this. God help us all. Bye.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.